let me have all those who are 14 and under to sit in this row. And everybody who is 15 and above to sit in the other 3 rows. Actually, how many of you are 16, between 15 and 16? 15 and 16. A couple. Everybody else is above 17, huh? Actually, we can sit in these 2 rows. Don't feel, if we have too many people, and then you can move forward. You're married? Okay, beautiful. You're in the right place. I just want to make sure. All right. Now, how many of you have been taught or have heard there's only one person that God has set aside special just for you? How many of you know that? Okay? Let me tell you, where did that come from? That came from Greek mythology. Okay? Where they had a god, 4 hands, 4 arms, 4 legs, both sets of genitalia, 2 heads, who was divided in half. And then they were split. And then the philosophers told us, you have to go and find your other half to be complete. Does the Bible teach that? No. Let's have one illustration. You folks are fast. Zelophehad. Who was Zelophehad? A little louder. The father of five sisters. Very good. And what do we know about him? Well, what do we know about the sisters? Google. Look it up in your electronic Bible. So you won't say that I said something that you thought for yourself. Where in the Bible does it talk about Zelophehad? There's a couple of places. Numbers 26, where else? Okay, now in Numbers 26, eventually, I think it's Numbers 30, isn't it? Again, it comes up where 36. Now, what does it say in 36? Who were Zelophehad's daughters allowed to marry?
Okay, so Numbers chapter 36 verse 6 says, this is what the Lord commands concerning the daughters of Zelophehad, saying, let them marry whom they think best, but...
Who they think best. Now, there's an additional criteria that was given, that it had to be from their tribe so that the land would not go to someone else. Did God say that they had to identify who the one and only was? That they needed to identify who they thought was? And this morning or earlier today we talked about how we decide who is best. Do they have a gardening project? This afternoon. Anyway, and then the other criteria that we already discussed. Okay? All right. Gail, it's yours. Will marriage make you happy?
I want to start backwards a little bit. I mentioned that when Herb and I got married, he was making 0, which was not quite true.
I would make up to $50 a week, which hardly covered my breakfast.
So what I want to clarify is that I was working, and I was making a decent wage.
She was the head of a department, of one of the other departments at Loma Linda University Medical Center. So that was a fairly decent wage.
And Herb was in medical school, so he had the potential to make a very decent wage.
And she had a car.
And I had a car, but no furniture, so we got our furniture out of the waste bin. So it's not as if he wasn't somebody who was industrious. He was making his $50 a week by going at 5 o'clock every morning and drawing blood. And I think one of the things that I'd like to encourage parents with is look at potential and look at what they're doing now. Are they diligent? Are they working the little bit they can now? Instead of just looking at this guy already has a $2 lakh a month salary, those kinds of things, because sometimes that doesn't matter so much. The world goes after money. Christians make what their first priority? God and his kingdom. Okay?
Now, while you are there, I have forwarded to the scribe or whoever it was that sent me your list back to you, side by side with the other side's list. Okay, so you can share that with your people if you like, and actually I have that right here. I'll try and be very fast because I don't want to take up too much time. And what you will see is that I have bolded and underlined, and I've taken the liberty to try and make comparison, that both the young ladies and the young men thought that God-fearing was number one. One of the things that we did not do is we did not ask you to make an absolute list and a preference list. I think these are both merged. I think it's important that when you make your list, and I want to encourage everybody to have a list, okay? That you say, this is my absolute, and this is what I would like. And by preference, I mean is negotiable. Okay? And you may even have some that are absolute negative. So if they do this or that, no way, no chance. Okay? But have your absolute positive and your preference list. So for example, is sense of humor an absolute or is it a high preference? If it's a high preference, that means it's negotiable. Now, what I happen to see here is that sense of humor and cheerful. I kind of equated those two. Maybe I did right, maybe I did wrong. But I think that what we see is that you want to be, both sides want somebody that they can enjoy life with. Okay? So I've sent this to you. I'm not going to take up any more time, but I would encourage you to make your absolute and your preference list.
Yeah, for me, on my list, I had that the person should be musical. Okay?
And if that had been an absolute, you wouldn't see me here today.
So that was a preference, obviously. And I have news for everybody. Everybody. And it's not good news. It's bad news. Marriage won't make you happy. Did you hear me? Marriage does not make anybody happy.
If you heard her, raise your hand. Nobody raised their hand. Nobody understands your English.
Marriage does not make you happy. If you're not happy before you get married, you're not going to be happy in marriage. So if you want a happy marriage, the first thing you need to do is become a happy person.
Single.
Okay? Next bit of bad news. Ready?
But if two single, happy people get married, they're bound to have a happy marriage.
Correct. If they have the same goals in life.
And while you were talking about goals, I know that I'm fighting time, and so I'm going out of order, and I'm just jumping in here and there. You know, Gail is such a beautiful woman. She has all these fantastic qualities. Wow. Awesome. You know, how long can I be looking at Gail? And I call that navel gazing. Okay? How long can you look at the navel or the belly button of your dream person from the opposite sex and enjoy life? Can you do that very long? No. And so if all I'm doing, if I just get married, wow, she's beautiful, wow, 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 things won't last. But if we happen to have a goal and a mission in life that we're working toward, are we spending our time navel-gazing? Or are we spending our time fulfilling goals? If you reach those goals and you have nothing else to do in life and you start navel-gazing, expect your marriage to have problems. If you reach your goals, look for the next goal that God is leading you toward. And as long as you're moving and working together and going in the same direction, you don't have time to say, "Oh, you have a mole here. You have a wrinkle here. You understand what I'm saying?" And we do what Gail mentioned earlier, build each other up and move in the direction that God has directed us, we will not only be a blessing to each other, enjoy life, but we'll be a blessing to others as well.
So the next bit of bad news is, no matter how lucky you are, how blessed you are, however you want to look at it, you are not going to find the perfect spouse.
But
Definitely
I did.
not.
I did.
You're blind. Are you perfect? Are you perfect? No. There's no perfect person here. So because there's no perfect person, you're not going to find a perfect spouse. Anybody you marry is going to have problems. Okay?
Marriage is where two broken people who are in tune with God are moving forward, and God is transforming them for His purposes in His kingdom.
So what should you do now as a single person? Best thing you can do now?
If two broken people get married and God is not there, we have double brokenness.
The best thing you can do now as a single person is to prepare yourself to be the best person you can be. Okay? That means career-wise, pursue your goals. That means maybe doing some things like learning how to cook, since it sounds like the girls, I'm talking to the guys now, like somebody who knows how to cook. Learn how to cook a little. Learn about money. Learn how to budget. Learn how to plan financially. Learn all you can that will make you a better person.
A better wife, a better mom, a better person.
Read books about marriage. Read books about rearing children.
Adventist home, child guidance, etc.
And another thing you can learn is how the two sexes are different. Herb's going to show us one sample to give you an idea that men and women are actually quite different.
Do they think like you? What's wrong with you? Do they think like you? Now, ladies and men, ladies, tell me if this image is wrong. Ladies, you tell me if this image is right. And men, you tell me if this image is wrong. How do our brains work? Ladies, is it true that you have a chocolate lobe? You talk, Gail. Now, let me just say, because you got this book last night and earlier today, I'm sure you're ready for an exam that we can give before you leave, right? It's good. So this we've gotten from someone else, and we may need some help to put the cars inside. Let me see here. There's power tools, ball sports. Okay, so cars may be fit in there somehow. Okay, so on page 107 in this book is a small table.
And if you haven't gotten the book, see us afterwards. We'll be happy to give you a book.
Is there anybody here who did not receive a book? Anybody not receive a book? You're such a lucky woman. You're such a lucky man. On page 107, on page 107, it even tells us what men expect in marriage and what women expect in marriage. If this is correct, don't always believe everything that you hear or that you see or that even that we say perhaps. If there's a way you can check it out ahead of time, I would encourage you. It says, number one, what are women looking for? Thank you very much, Rocky. They're looking for what? Companionship, appreciation, affection, and non-erotic tenderness, a listening spouse, the need to talk, honesty, and understanding. Now, this is an overgeneralization, perhaps. What is it that we men are looking for in marriage? Sexual fulfillment, domestic support, food, housing, things like that, and respect. There may be variations, but this is a generalization. Just to buttress what Gail has said, and I'm not saying this is exactly correct, but there may be some truth there.
Maybe you should tell them the thing you usually say about sex and men and women.
What do I usually tell them? Oh, good. Wow, Gail. You know, you are the only butterfly in my garden, the only sugar cube in my tea, the only, life. In fact, you know what? Last night, Angel Gabriel came to me and said, "You're the one I will marry." And since I have this directive from God, and I know you're the one, let's go ahead and verify that and demonstrate our appreciation and love for each other, because we know we'll get married, and let's go ahead and go to bed together.
Angel Gabriel didn't come to me yet.
You must have been sleeping. How many of you know you're all cooks, so you all know what a stove is. Do you use an electric stove or a gas stove? Yes. Gas stove. How many use electric stoves? You use both. Great. What they say is that men are like gas stoves and women are like electric stoves. In fact, we just attended a wedding earlier this week, and a guy wanted to help a girl take a look at him. And the one question was asked at the reception, how many times did the girl reject the guy? And what was the answer, Gail? 5 times. The guy was a bit persistent. So guys, just because a girl tells you once, it doesn't mean it's all over necessarily. But it may be. Okay? So what happens? Let's say, so what I'm trying to illustrate is a girl or a young lady is like an electric stove. You turn it on, and what happens? It takes a while to warm up.
Okay. I agree. I give in.
I married the perfect spouse. Okay. It takes a while for the water or whatever it is to warm up. For a guy, you turn on the gas stove, what happens? He's on. Okay? So I can say, wow, I'm meeting you for the first time. I'm going to marry you one day. Right or wrong? Okay? All right? And a girl will let me think, let me see, let me watch. Right or wrong? Okay? So the same thing happens with sex. I'm going to overly generalize and say, what is it the guys want?
Look at the brain.
What do girls want? The girls are looking for love. Right or wrong? Girls are looking for love. What are guys looking for?
And for girls, love doesn't mean sex necessarily. Love means listening to me, telling me I'm pretty and that you love me, saying nice things, spending time with me.
What is it the guys are looking for? Good. But in general, if we think about it from the worldly perspective, the guys want what? We want sex. Okay? And what do the girls want? We want love. And so many times you'll find guys who will play at love so they can get sex. And girls will think, let me go ahead and play the game of sex so that I can have. And once the guy has what he wants, what happens to the girl? Thank you, that was a good experience. Now let me go on for my next conquering quest. Right or wrong? So then that girl becomes history, and the guy is pursuing the next fish in the pond. I'm speaking overgeneralization, and I'm speaking where a person doesn't have Christ. But there are still temptations that all men have, and many women have as well.
So another thing that you may not realize is that once you're interested in a woman or interested in a man, what you see is not what you're going to get.
Quick question. How many of you are hypocrites? They don't understand my English either. What is a hypocrite?
Someone who like corrects someone on doing something wrong, but they still do have that same negative.
Okay, good. In Greek, actually the word hypocrite is a Greek word. It's a Greek word for a person who was an actor in the theater wearing a mask, where they would play as if they were somebody they were not. Okay? Go ahead.
So when you're in a relationship before marriage, both of you are going to be on your very, very, very best behavior.
I.e., hypocrites.
So don't think that things are going to get better after marriage. In fact, they may get worse. Because what you're seeing today is them on their very, very best behavior, and what you see after marriage, when they don't have to pretend anymore, is the real person. Now, having said that, don't give up on marriage, even after you hear the next thing I'm going to say.
So in other words, what she's saying is, if you go someplace to get a hot drink, and somebody comes along and bumps you, and you get hot drink poured all over you. Why did you get hot drink poured on you? Because that is what it was in the glass. Okay? If you have a sponge, and the sponge has soaked up whatever it is, and you squeeze the sponge, what will you get out? Whatever is inside. So when you get married, it'll be that like now, you're having a chance to squeeze the sponge of your spouse, your new spouse, and now you really see what's on the inside. And if you weren't able to see it beforehand, you'll surely see it now.
And that's why character needs to be at the top of your list. And character is not that hard to determine, especially quickly. It takes time to figure out the real character of somebody, okay? Then the last thing I'm going to tell you, which is bad news, is that you can't change anybody.
You know what? As I was standing there and she was coming down the aisle, I know that, where was she walking to? She was walking toward the altar. And perhaps I could imagine what she's thinking is, as she's going down, she sees me, I'll alter him, I'll alter him, I'll alter him.
Impossible. We cannot change anybody else. The only person we can change is ourselves.
But marriage will show the rough parts on the diamond that God wants you to be, so that God can help to polish those. But you cannot see, when you see those rough spots, you're not the one that can polish them for the other person.
So if you see a girl who's beautiful, but she lies, don't think, that's all right. After we get married, I'll make sure she stops lying. You can't do it. You cannot change anybody else, only yourself. You can pray and God can change people. But the person that's being changed has to be willing even for God to change them. If they're not willing, God is not going to zap somebody because you prayed and make them into somebody totally different. So what am I saying? What I'm saying is, don't jump into marriage too fast. Make sure you know what you're getting into. Because nobody's perfect, every marriage is going to have bumps. But with God and the right attitude, you'll be able to not only get through the bumps, but flourish and have a home that is full of peace and joy and fun even.
A little heaven on earth. Introductions done? Great. Any quick comments or questions from what has just been said? Then we'll fly through the next part. So, I'm going to... Everybody, let's see here. This is our age group from... What? 14 and under. Beautiful. And this is 15 and above. Beautiful. And this is our young men. This is our young ladies. Now, let me invite, we'll make two groups here. So this group here will be one group, and these two rows will be one group. All right? And since we have, okay, we'll use the outside this time, huh? And we'll use the back. All right. So whoever is on the outside aisle and on the second row will be your team leader, and whoever is to their immediate left, if it's the right side, or their immediate right on the left side, will be their scribe, okay? Who will be giving us a report. Are we together? Beautiful. So, for our next episode here, where did it go? Here we go, here we go. Do we have time? Ooh, it's almost time. Which one do we do? For both sides. All right. First two rows of young men and our young ladies here. What are the red flags in a relationship that indicate that you should leave? Pardon me? No. You'll discuss that among yourselves, and you'll have 5 minutes again. Young ladies, what are red flags in a that you would think about ahead of time, that if you're in a relationship with a young man, think this is a potential marriageable candidate, if you see this red flag, you tell yourself, it's not for me, I need to get out of it. Okay? Now, for other young men, are 14 and under, what does it mean to be unequally yoked? Okay? So, our leader is here. Our scribe is beside him. Okay? And if you need, please go ahead. If you need any help, you work it out among yourselves. What does it mean to be unequally yoked? You have 5 minutes, and and we're going to have you give us a report and also send us your information. For the married people, for our front row married ladies and our married guys here, we'd like you to tell us, what were your biggest surprises once you were married, which you wish you had known ahead of time? Okay? Now, I'll broaden this out just a little bit so that if it wasn't just you, or you want to make sure that nobody is looking at you, you can say that you even heard from one of your other close friends, which you know must be true. Okay? What were the biggest surprises when you got married? And for our last group here, what is it that you wished you had known before you got married? Okay? All right? So you have 5 minutes, and then we want you to report back to us. So you're the leader? Anyway, if you work it out among yourselves, no problem. All right? And a scribe. All right? Each group should have a scribe who will do the reporting. So the leader will not be the scribe. The leader is not the scribe. Somebody else is reporting. 2 minutes. More. Our scribe should be getting ready. Our time is up. Take another 30 seconds or so to finish preparing your presentation. Ready? Are you ready to present? Good. Ready? Sorry. Ready? All right. I'm glad that you sent it to me already? You sent them to me? What I will do, if you'd like me to, is I will try to pull them together and forward them back, a list of all of them to everybody. Okay? All right. So, are we ready here? We'll go ahead and begin here in the back. I'll give you the microphone.
Start by telling us what your question was and then your answer.
So the question what we had was, what do or did you wish you had known before marriage? So let me give you a disclaimer that this is not solely from me, but it is from the entire team.
Understood for all the groups.
Yeah. So it's all the outpouring of the women of my team. So the first point is, had I known that my husband would be non-expressive after childbirth, it is like they feel that there is no love as when they were before childbirth or before getting married, when they were in love.
Okay, good. Now, Gail has a friend who says that on the day he got married, he told his wife, "I love you." Sometime later, she says, "How come you don't tell me anything anymore?" He says, "I told you when we got married, I love you. When I change my mind, I'll let you know." Does that work for you ladies? Are you happy with that?
No.
Okay. So I'm hearing the guys say that ladies need to hear it constantly. Okay?
Somebody knows women.
Carry on.
Okay, the second point is body shaming after childbirth.
Body shaming after childbirth.
Yeah.
Okay?
And the third point is spending the night with other friends than the family after marriage.
Okay?
And the fourth point is not spending. Anna, repeat the third point. Yes. Spending the night with friends other than family, other than the spouse. Okay, the fourth point is not buying or taking for shopping as before marriage. Not spending more time in shopping together. And spending more time in the responsibilities rather than the responsible person, which is the wife.
Spending time.
And sixth point is stringent towards wife, not giving money for wife's expenses. And the seventh point is not taking responsibilities with kids.
I think thank you. Thank you for being honest and giving your feelings. That's what we wanted, and we really appreciate you doing that.
Please send them to the WhatsApp number.
Yeah. Now, what I want to say is that I hope that all of you who are not married yet, and even those of you who have been married and continue to be married, can begin to think of marriage as a team effort. Instead of two people, roommates, having children. Team members communicate with each other about everything, finances included. What you're going to do with your time. And the responsibilities in the home are also shared, including child rearing. Now, yes, some people will have more time to spend with the children. Some people will have less, depends on their work schedule. But all of us need to see this marriage thing as a teamwork. Finances. We talked about transparency somewhere here with the, I can't remember if it was the guys or the girls. I think somebody had that on their list. Husband and wife, part of cleaving is becoming naked to each other. Not just physical nakedness, but saying, this is my bank account. This is how I'm spending my money. And preferably the two of you sitting down together and looking at your finances. Herb and I have always, since we got married, only had shared bank accounts. We
And
each.
sometimes she spends too much money.
But the beautiful thing is, he never asks me, well, that's not true.
She was going to say, I never asked her what she spends money on.
That's not quite true. But he is not looking over my shoulder. Now, when we got married, we decided that for the first year we were married, each of us would keep track of every paisa we spent. We had a notebook, and we kept track of every paisa. And once a month, we would sit down together and go through the notebooks. And sometimes Herb would say,
What did you buy? How come there's no money?
and then when we would go through the records, we would discover that it was he who spent the money. But without that, again, part of cleaving is not hiding things from each other anymore. In any realm of life, you are now one, not just physically for a few seconds in the night, but all the time. And you are one mentally, emotionally, in every way, financially. So if you want a happy marriage, be transparent about all these things and work as a team to go towards your shared goals. Does that make sense? Okay.
Life is a process. It's a journey. Many of us are not there yet. And for some of us, it's painful to make changes. For all of us, it's easy to tell somebody else to change. But for me to make a change isn't so easy.
When I'm living in the hostel, I don't need to tell my roommate what I'm doing with my money. But that's a different relationship. When I'm with my husband and I'm his wife, we need to know what's happening in each other's lives.
Let's move quickly. Our next married group, married lady group. Remind us of your question and I would love it if you would WhatsApp us your reports as well.
Did you WhatsApp? The question was biggest surprise one after wedding. That's the question. So the first point is cultural shock. So it's like if for me also it was a cultural shock because I am from Pune and my husband is from Chennai. So when I came to Chennai, I felt it was a different atmosphere and people were different, their thinking was different. So yes, cultural
Sometimes
shock.
the cultural shock is culture.
The way they dress up also.
Is also a cultural shock between the men and women.
No, but for me it was not that. I was more towards the city. And the second point is in-laws' attitude. Suddenly, the in-laws change once you get married.
How?
This was not my point. This was not my point, but it's like,
No problem.
yeah. The third is difference of opinion. So once you get married, there had been difference of opinion. Then lack of support from partner, emotional, financial. There is lack of teamwork, lack of love, not spending time. Started to ignore our spouse started to ignore our ideas, views, and opinions. Then there is lack of intellectual intimacy. Example, financial things, So these things are the points that our team
Okay.
mentioned.
About half of that list had to do with feeling like you are being heard and cared for. Men, I hope on that side you're listening. In-laws. There are 3 things that have been said to be the cause of most divorces.
Until 30 years ago.
What?
And now there's 4.
Now there's 4. So what do you think those things are? In-laws is one of them. Another one? Finances, money. What else?
Remember our brains.
Sex problems. And 4th?
Money, sex. And now? Number 4 now is social media.
All our time is being spent on the phone instead of sitting with our spouse, talking and listening to each other with our mouth instead of texting.
It also sounds like before you ladies got married or your friends got married, that the guys were spending a little bit of time with you. After marriage, you wonder what happened.
Herb would spend hours with me.
And after marriage, where is Herb?
We need to expect some of that, to be honest. We need to expect that guys will not their whole life have hours and hours to spend with us. But that does not mean that our husbands don't need to realize women need time with them, and not only women, your children need time with you. Children don't just need their moms, they need their dads. And spending time with children is super important. Spending time together as a family is one of the best things you can do. Okay? Doing something fun that everybody enjoys, or just talking together.
An exam question that I like to ask is dads, how do your daughters, how do your sons know that you love them? 1 or 2 points. How does your daughter or your son know that you love them?
One is you spend time with them.
All right, I'll accept that one. As a number 2.
And they know that you care about what they need.
That's for granted. From their
I'm
perspective.
exhausted.
There are other people here who will be happy to help.
We should get them what they want.
Very good. I call that a bribe. The way children know that their dads love them is, number 1, how they see their dads treat their moms. And number 2, time. We could also make longer lists, but those are probably the 2 things that we often forget the most.
We think getting them things makes them feel loved, but it does not.
All right. Married men, we've been waiting for you. Tell us your question that you're answering and the answer. And if you don't mind sending us a WhatsApp with it as well. Do you have it? Okay, good.
Our question was, what were your biggest surprises once you were married? Yeah. And the first point is same, what they said, like culture shock.
Explain.
Yeah. Same in the sense like a boy getting married to a North Indian who is from South.
So-
Their culture will be different and it will take time to adjust.
Okay. Unmarried men? Unmarried ladies? Keep this in mind.
Yeah, second one, communication problem. Like before marriage, conversations may feel easy, but after marriage, communication becomes argument.
Communication becomes an argument.
Yeah.
I have a question. Was the topic of conversation before marriage any different than after marriage?
Yes.
Before marriage, you're so beautiful. How did you spend? Did you eat? All of those kinds of things. After marriage, what did you do with the money?
Okay, let's keep going because
Yeah, next point. After marriage, listening reduces, response increases.
okay.
And
All right.
fourth one,
Go ahead.
complication in understanding.
Okay.
And fifth one, decision making. After marriage, before marriage, men, they take their own decision. After marriage, for everything, they need to have their opinion, and decision making becomes hard once they get married.
Okay.
And finally, last one, emotional blackmail.
Okay.
Yeah, emotional blackmail. We never knew that ladies were so strong in emotional blackmailing in everything we do. If we, if we would have known this before marriage, we'd rather choose to be single forever.
Thank you very, very much. Really appreciate the honesty and the input here. I wish we had more time to hear it. All right, let's listen carefully.
So,
What? Yeah, these are all group answers. What does it mean to be unequally yoked?
yeah, it's kind of short. Is it okay? Yeah, okay. Being unequally yoked means to say it's a partnership, usually a marriage or a close business between two people with fundamentally incompatible beliefs, values, or spiritual lives. Another
Don't underestimate the generation that's
thing.
coming up.
Another thing, it means being connected with another person who has a different point of view that is not equal to yours, or maybe yours is not equal to theirs, and that causes hindrance. Yes, hindrance.
Okay.
Hindrance.
Okay?
It's also a biblical metaphor. It's found in 2 Corinthians, I believe, 6:14.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Please send us a copy into this number. Let me tell you, what does Mrs. White say is being unequally yoked for Adventist? Was it an unbeliever? Someone who does not believe in the three angels' messages. It's not believe in Jesus. It's not believe in the Bible. Mrs. White says that if I marry somebody who does not believe in the three angels' messages and am living in that direction, I am being unequally yoked.
But unequal yoking can be other things as well. That's probably the most important thing to consider. But you can also be unequally yoked financially. You can be unequally yoked with
Come.
something's
Finish,
going on
finish,
here.
finish.
You can be unequally yoked by food, even. We heard about food here. Somebody who, last week I was talking to a couple who are planning to get married. And the lady called me and said that her boyfriend says he can't even enter the house when she's cooking her best food.
From her culture.
From her culture, okay? So some of these things you need to think about. Will I be able to live like this the rest of my life smelling this food if it's such a big deal to you? Huh? So being unequally yoked can be many different things. That is the most important.
I would love to spend half an hour talking on this point, but we don't have time. Let me just say, Melvin's favorite sport is cricket. Okay? Let's just say we put a splint on Melvin so that he can't bend his knee. Melvin, up until now, has belonged to a national champion team. Now that he has a splint on, he's expected to still perform for the team, correct? How will he perform? Will he perform as good or better than he did before? 2 Corinthians 6:14, we read that part, but we don't read the verses before. And I was really impressed in the New King James Bible how I got a new understanding. Verse 11, 2 Corinthians 6:11 says, you are now restricted because of your own love. And that word restricted is straightened, like we use in orthopedics, or is saying that your bone is now straight. Okay?
You can't bend it
I put a
anymore.
splint on it. And so now, when I am unequally yoked, my life becomes restricted by my own affections, not by something else. And the question is, am I ready to go through life as a cricket player being restricted by my own affections? Some people may say yes, some people may say no, but it's something that all of us should think about. Thank you very much. Okay, go ahead.
That doesn't work.
Okay.
Okay, so our question was, what are some red flags to see in your partner when it's time to leave the relationship? So we have dishonesty, manipulation, not being open in the sense that they hide stuff from you, no respect for godly things, inconsiderate and ignorant, disrespectful, immodest fashion sense, gaslighting, overspending, big gossiper, and she prioritizes something or someone that is other than God or the relationship.
Really good. One of the things he said in the beginning was hiding things from you. That is definitely a red flag. When somebody is either not telling you the truth or hiding things from you, I would run the other direction.
Ladies.
That one doesn't work.
It does.
The red flags we wrote were getting angered easily, raising their hand during an argument, if he degrades what you feel, if he says, you should just listen to what I have to say, a wandering gaze, smoking, drinking, or drugs, fights with his family, but that depends on the circumstances, lying, spending money unnecessarily, mean to animals like little puppies.
Very, very, very important. That is a really, really important point, and I think this is the first time anybody but me has said that. The way that we treat animals is the way we will treat humans when pressed. So if you see somebody kick a dog, you better know that you're going to be next. Huh? It's Herb's first gift to me was not roses, was not chocolate. It was a snake, a live one.
That bit her.
And it was the only snake that has ever bit me. It was not a venomous snake. So you're talking about a snake. Actually, is the snake a created thing that God made? It was cursed. But did God say to not take care of snakes from then on? He told Adam, name the animals, take care of them. And then afterwards, did he say stop taking care of the animals after sin? No. Well, snakes are a little bit different, I'll have to admit. But in general, the way people treat animals is the way that they will eventually treat humans. So that's a really good thing to have pointed out.
Thank you very much. One last comment that I will make, and then we'll need to close with prayer, is I encourage all my young ladies and my young men, if possible, try and see the person that you're interested in a squeezed position in their family, so that in a stress position, so you can see how they will react under stress to their mom, to their dad. That's the way they will react to you if possible. We don't have time now. If anybody has time afterwards to look, I have a list that another group has created on the screen. You're welcome to look at that.
I want to add one more thing, just because I deal with the effects of it almost every day. If you see any signs of control, telling you what kind of clothes you need to wear, looking at your phone and saying you need to delete this person off your phone,
Who have you talked to?
run as fast as you can in the opposite direction. Control is a sign of many, many other problems. And nobody has the right to control you before they marry you or after they marry you. Okay? Run.
Anybody who didn't receive a copy? We have a couple copies left, and I think we should close with prayer. Let's see, we had a guy open with prayer. Who would like to close with prayer on this side?
Before we pray, I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. We've really enjoyed being with you, and we pray that Tambaram Church will be full of happy, healthy families that glorify God.
Let's stand for prayer.
Let's pray. Our Father in heaven, thank you for this good day you have added in our lives. Thank you for helping us learn whatever we should. May you be with us throughout this whole week as we enter into a new week. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Thank you very much. I hope this was a little bit useful. For any of you who put some questions in to be answered, please stand by for a couple of minutes and we'll see if we can help you out. God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Herb and Mrs. Gale. This was really wonderful sessions. We've been longing to have such sessions for our members. It was a wonderful time together. Can we have a round of applause if we've really enjoyed these sessions? Thank you so much. I just have a question. What if we realize red flags after marriage? You stay put.
Too late. Take your time before marriage. Even if mom and dad are telling you they have already set the date for your wedding, don't get forced into a marriage until you feel comfortable.
Even if you've already had the engagement, until you have the wedding aisle where you've gone down and the pastor has proclaimed you husband and wife, there is still time, even though it may be embarrassing, there is still time to get out or to stall. And you'll be thankful for it, even though many people may curse you. It's your life.
Now, if there's something happening in your family that will compromise your safety, you need to leave that house. If your safety is compromised, leave that house. I'm not telling you to divorce. I'm telling you to leave the house because you need to be safe.
And get help. But you don't have to wait to get help until it's the time to leave. If there's challenges that you're having,
and the help should not be from mom and dad on either side. The help should be from somebody who is not invested in one or the other of